just milled around here for a little bit longer. Glad you all could come out tonight to another fine episode of Chamblee on coronavirus with all of our wonderful protection we have here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And then since we have all of our officers here, I'll ask Chief Thomas, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir, please, on behalf of your staff? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Thank you very much. And like I heard somebody say here recently, feel very safe in the room this evening. Very well protected. So with that, announcements, presentations. We have award presentation, Safe Recovery of Kidnapped Infant. We've got a pair of chiefs. If we get 3 captains, we'd have a full house.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I want to say thank you for this opportunity, for giving us an opportunity to say thank you to officers that have been well-deserving for a job well done. These awards, you're here, and I won't prolong the time. We'll have Assistant Chief Bella, to read the awards. And what I ask is Council, just kind of, if we could socially distance, stand up there, and each officer come up to be presented with the award. But this is an accumulation of very hard work, dedication, and this proves that the love of these officers and the commitment that they have for this community. You'll hear that a lot of them just went the extra mile to ensure that this comes to a safe and ending. So I want to be able to present these awards at this time.
Thank you, Chief. You want us to come up right now? Okay, come on.
The first officer to be recognized tonight is Officer Victor Rebelar. He's presented the Certificate of Merit. Officer Rebelar responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he assisted in translating Spanish and English for both CPD and FBI interviews and assisted in the crime scene search. Officer Rebelar's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away less than 5 hours later, and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Officer Samuel Curry. He's awarded the Certificate of Merit. He responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he initiated ground search and coordinated searches with surrounding jurisdictions. He worked with license plate reader systems to track the suspect vehicle and assisted in crime scene search. Officer Curry's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Officer Brian Ritchie. He is awarded a Certificate of Merit. Officer Ritchie responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he began obtaining statements and assured redundancy to confirm facts and circumstances. He also assisted in the crime scene search. Officer Ritchie's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Officer Ulysses Bernard. He is awarded the Certificate of Merit. Officer Bernard responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he began by obtaining witness statements. He also conducted crime scene search with a metal detector. Officer Bernard's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Officer Dastasia Bailey. Officer Bailey is presented with a Certificate of Merit. She responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. She was the first officer to arrive on scene and began the initial field interview with the mother and obtained the vehicle description. She worked with the license plate reader systems to track the suspect vehicle. Officer Bailey's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Sergeant John Freeman. The Certificate of Merit is awarded to Sergeant John Freeman. He responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he initiated a ground search. He also coordinated FBI and CPD Criminal Investigative Division response. He directed each officer to complete specific tasks. For example, statements, license tags, and lookout. Sergeant Freeman's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away, less than 5 hours, and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The next officer is Sergeant Lavon Arthur. Sergeant Arthur is awarded the Certificate of Merit. He responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he began interviewing family members to confirm suspect information. He assisted with establishing and maintaining the crime scene while managing other calls for service. Sergeant Arthur's supervision and committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Lieutenant Guy Antonozzi. Lieutenant Antonozzi responded to the kidnapping of a 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he began communicating updates to command staff. He established a secure interview location for follow-up interviews and established a media site. He coordinated ground search and ground-to-air search with the DeKalb's aviation unit. He maintained officer accountability. Lieutenant Antonosi's leadership and superb incident command implementation contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Detective LaShonda Williams. Detective Williams responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, she ran background intelligence reports related to the registered owners of the suspect vehicle. She located a recent cell phone number for the female suspect, and that cell phone number was ultimately the critical link that led police to the location where the child was recovered. Detective Williams' committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Detective Locktran. Detective Tran responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he assisted with the case by developing information to identify the suspect vehicle. He acted as a liaison with Chamblee Police, GBI, and FBI to maintain information flow and determine a motive. Detective Tran's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Detective Kyle Colbert. Detective Colbert responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he then began traveling towards Carroll County, where the flock camera hits occurred with a suspect vehicle. He assisted in the execution of search warrants on the suspect's vehicle. Detective Colbert's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Detective Rick Barber. Detective Barber was notified of the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. He was on vacation while being notified of the incident, and he began conducting flock camera searches to develop the tag information and found additional photos of the suspect vehicle. He provided updates on the direction of travel and times that the suspect vehicle hit certain locations. This critical information offered a direction of travel and narrowed down search areas. Detective Barber's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours, and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The certificate of merit is presented to Lieutenant Chris Newberry. Detective Lieutenant Newberry responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the crime scene, he met with personnel on scene and then assisted other officers in the apprehension of the suspects in Carroll County. He maintained constant communication with investigators and provided real-time information on the suspect's location. Lieutenant Newberry's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. The certificate of merit is presented to Captain Ernesto Ford. Captain Ford responded to the kidnapping of the 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. Upon arrival to the established Incident Command Center, he began setting up the command post in the police department and coordinating the response from the Uniform Division and other resources. Captain Ford's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. If I were to pause for a second, it is great and entirely appropriate that the council gets to be a part of this, because roughly 3 years ago, I came and requested a license plate reader program, which was approved unanimously. And that program was the key to recovering that child so quickly. And so this is culmination of something that y'all supported and approved from the beginning, and so we're very grateful to this council for playing that role in this successful outcome.
This next award, Certificate of Merit, is for Assistant Chief Mike Beller. Assistant Chief Beller responded to the kidnapping of a 1-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. After arriving at the crime scene, he then responded to the Carroll County Sheriff's Office to brief that agency. He later was able to locate that suspect vehicle along with the Georgia State Patrol and was part of the arrest of the suspects and the rescue of the child. Assistant Chief Beller's commitment and contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers. I don't know how many of you seen the video of the actual arrest, but he was definitely not in the Chamblee PD authorized uniform.
If you know something about the burden of command, when you have an infant taken in a situation like this, that burden becomes very heavy. And we can't imagine how heavy that burden would have become if that incident had dragged on for days and weeks as we unceasingly searched for that child. And that burden would have weighed heavily on Chief Kerry Thomas. The Certificate of Merit is presented to Chief Kerry Thomas by his command staff. Chief Thomas led the CPD response to the kidnapping of the one-year-old child at gunpoint by complete strangers. He immediately responded to the scene and took over incident command. He coordinated with supporting agencies and maintained command of the incident. Chief Thomas's committed contribution to this team effort resulted in baby Mateo's safe recovery 70 miles away in less than 5 hours and the apprehension of both kidnappers.
Mr. Mayor and Council, as you can see, that day a lot of things, a lot of emotion, but the professionalism that each and every one of those officers that was presented award today was exceptional. Everyone came in and they acted in a professional manner. They knew what the mission was, and they went above and beyond. This is a type of incident that's very rarely ends up in the type of result that it ended up in a positive result. So the commitment level that you saw of these officers was extraordinary. So I felt that it was fitting for us to be able to present them and acknowledge their commitment to the dedication to this city and the citizens of the city. So thank you very much for that opportunity.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Before we move on, I want to just say something to the officers who are still here, please. And one of the things, and Assistant Chief Beller pointed out that this council supported the purchase of those LPR license plate readers. And I'm proud of this council for doing that. I've been proud of our council and our staff for supporting our PD in the way they have since y'all know I've been here, you know, the old man been here a long time now. But I believe that there was a culture that existed within our police department that I've always called community-oriented policing first. And as I've witnessed over the years when our police department has come to our city council and asked for some type of support, it's never been an ask that probably wasn't granted. You might find one, but it's always because I believe that our PD is very thoughtful in how you all go about doing your jobs, community-oriented first, looking out for our community. And I think, you know, I get choked up saying it, but I can't imagine if one of my kids had gone missing like that. And the fact that because y'all do such a great job and because you've demonstrated this council you do such a great job, they're so ready to support you. And my hope is, and I believe that it will always continue to be that way. So thank you all very, very much for what you do for our community. With that, let's see how fast we can go. All right. Staff action items we had. City Clerk, we have approval of the minutes. We had the City Council public hearing and work session of September 10, 2020.
Motion to approve the minutes for the September 10th, 2020 meeting as submitted.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion on this item? We have motion second to approve the City Council public hearing and work session minutes from September 10th as submitted. All those in favor? And I'm...
Yep.
Yep. Okay, I can't see John, but that's all right. That passes unanimously unless somebody says otherwise. Approval of minutes, City Council regular meeting, September 15, 2020.
Motion to approve the minutes of the regular September 15, 2020 council meeting as submitted.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion? Motion is second then to approve the City Council regular meeting, September 15, 2020 minutes as submitted. All those in favor?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was a unanimous. John Mace is still hidden somewhere down there from me, but approval of minutes, City Council, I just can't see you, bud. I'm looking through like 5 layers of foggy plexiglass. Approval of minutes, City Council called meeting September 21, 2020.
Motion to approve the minutes from the September 21st, 2020 meeting as submitted.
Second.
Very good. Motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we have motion second to approve the City Council called meeting September 21, 2020 minutes as submitted. All those in favor?
Yep.
Passes unanimously. All right. We're on an episode of Storage Wars tonight, but that's all right. Yep. All right, the next item, creation of the Board of Ethics. I believe that we do not take any action on that this evening? Nope, we do not. Okay. The next item, we have a resolution to modify the 2020 fee schedule and extension of the renewal deadline for massage and spa.
Motion to approve the resolution amending the 2020 fee schedule for the City of Chamblee and extend the deadline for massage and spa renewals to November 30th, 2020.
Second.
Oh, I heard Karen first.
Yes, you did.
Karen got it in there, and it could just be because she's
Spa.
closer, so the sound got here. I don't know. Is there any discussion on this item? So we have motion second to pass the resolution to modify the 2020 fee schedule, extension of renewal deadline, massage and spa, as stated by Councilwoman Robson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 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 aye. Okay, now we're a bunch of pirates. Okay. City Manager, big gold star for you, bud. C, Development Department, we have PZ 2020-671, which is 3631 Claremont Road. There are 8 variances and 1 waiver.
Motion to approve in part and deny in part. A motion to approve, number 1, street-facing facade, number 2, service entrance, number 3, pedestrian entrance, number 4, pedestrian access to building, number 5, outdoor storage of equipment, but limit that storage to what has been included in the plan as submitted. Approve excess parking. Deny number 7, applicant shall provide pervious parking for employees. Number 8, approved loading zone. Number 9, deny waiver number 1, applicant shall provide easements to both adjoining properties.
Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. Any discussion? Very good. We have a motion and a second to approve in part and deny in part, as very eloquently stated by Councilwoman Leslie. I'm not going to try to repeat all of that, but I believe she probably has it written down somewhere because she's a very diligent councilwoman. So, hearing no more discussion, all those in favor?
Yep.
Yep. And that passes
Yep.
unanimously. Moving right along. The tree fund ordinance amendment. We're looking to move this to a first read, question mark. That's all I got written down here.
That's what I've been advised, Mayor.
So what's that?
I've been advised that we're going to read an amendment to the UDO concerning trees.
Okay, so I guess what we probably need then is if the council would care to move this to the first read. Was there a motion to do so?
Motion to move the first read of the tree fund ordinance amendment to first read.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion? All right, motion to read the first read of the first read of the first read of the tree fund ordinance, first read amendment to the first read of ordinances for this evening. All those in favor?
Aye.
First. That passes unanimously. Whew, I love it when I love it when I miss a work session. I don't know what's going on. All right, PD, man, we have the PD here. God, what an awesome police department. Parks and Recreation, we love our Parks and Recreation, but nobody's as cool as F for Finance. I mean, just got to point that out. And F for Finance does have a resolution, though. It's a budget.
Some coolness.
Yeah, the F for Finance failure. Budget amendments. Guess we need to make some. Not all at once.
Motion to approve budget amendments as submitted.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion on this item? We have a motion and a second then to approve the budget amendments as submitted. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, that passed unanimously. Obviously, we love our Public Works Department and our Economic Development Department, except they got a resolution. Man, there's lots of resolutions. Second amendment to the URA plan.
Motion to adopt the second amendment to the Chamblee Urban Redevelopment Plan as submitted.
Second.
Was there any discussion? All right, so Leslie had the first motion, and I think Karen had the second. No discussion. All those in favor of the resolution for the second amendment to the URA plan?
Yep, yep.
Yep. You just bought a storage unit. All right, that passes unanimously, along with the storage unit and contents to be found out later. Boards, authorities, and committees. Obviously, everybody's bored because, and I, you know what, I'd pull it up on Facebook and see how many people are watching, but probably not many. Joe, I believe we have some first reads and second reads this evening.
Yes, Mayor, one first read, it's an amendment to the UDO, Section 32040, called Recompense and Alternative Compliance. If the city landscape coordinator agrees that there are trees to replace removed specimen trees, and those trees will not will not fit on the site that's being developed, then there's an alternative. They can either plant them at a remote project site, which is set forth in paragraph B, or recompense the city, which would be by payment into the Chamblee Tree Bank Fund. And that is the first reading.
Great, thank you, sir. Now, I believe we have like a couple second reads.
Yes, Mayor, the first second read is an annexation ordinance to annex a small tax parcel of a person's lot that is partially in the city and partially in Brookhaven. Brookhaven has agreed to de-annex it, and we're going to annex it. It's described on Appendix A, and I think it's down, I'm not sure what the address is, maybe 3224 Caldwell Road, and that will be annexed into the city so that the citizen only has one tax bill instead of two. That's the second read, so we'll need a vote on that.
Motion to approve the annexation of 3224 Caldwell Road.
Very good. Is there any discussion on this item? All right, we have a motion second to the annexation of 3224 Caldwell Road into the city of Chamblee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. So no more double taxation without representation. I mean, man, there was a whole war fought over that. You got one more, right?
Yes, Mayor, this is an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city to change the zoning classification of this parcel that we just annexed from single dwelling to neighborhood residential, and requires that the change be entered on the official zoning map within 30 days. And the city clerk is directed to enter on the minutes at which the ordinance is adopted certain language about official action of the council making changes to the zoning map. And that is the second reading.
Motion to approve the rezoning of 3224 Caldwell Road.
Second?
All right, very good. Is there any discussion on this item? So we have a motion and a second to approve the rezoning of 3224 Caldwell Road as submitted by staff. All those in favor?
Yep.
Yep. Man, you're going to go broke buying all those. You know, that passed unanimously. All right, mayor and council items. Councilwoman Lupton is loving the resolutions because she didn't think we had enough of them tonight, so she's got another one. Go at it, Karen.
I got to get in on the party.
You do. I tell you what.
Motion to approve the resolution for the Airport Advisory Board amendment proposal as submitted.
Second.
Oh, I think John got it in.
John got it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So is there any discussion on this item? We have a motion second then to approve the resolution for the Airport Advisory Board amendment proposal as submitted. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yep. That passes unanimously. All right. Citizen comments. I don't see any citizens left. Do we need an executive session this evening, sir? We do not need an executive session. Would anybody like to go? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. We're out of here. Thank you all very much. I'll be here all week. Remember to tip your bartenders and your waitresses.